Welcome to Wrong Time Watch. My name is Kevin, and in this video I'm going to talk about my goals my goal for 2024 with the watch collection. I have way more watches than this, but I would like to get down to a reasonable collection. Not sure what reasonable is, but here I am playing around with what a 12 watch collection would look like. But I still have other watches that I really don't plan on selling. For example, my SKX 009, which I've had for 14 years now. It's just been in the collection so long, but I'm not going to count it in my 12 watch collection. I also have this guy here, which I've owned for, I think, 14-15 years. Bought this one used on eBay a number of years ago. So anyway, maybe I'll have a rule like watches under $200 don't count. I don't know. I'm still playing around with it, but just want to talk it out here. Also, if you could let me know what your watch collection goals are, I'd really appreciate hearing your feedback down in the comment section. So I think these will be my keepers, but you know, it's still up in the air. This one for sure, I'll be keeping the Submariner, and pretty sure I'll be keeping this one. These are the only two luxury watches I purchased at full retail price. Everything else in here I purchased used. The majority of my collection is filled up with used watches. Just a much better value that way for me. Speedmaster, I think I'll always have a Speedmaster in the collection. The Snowflake, I wanted this watch for a long time. So let me scoot the box off to the side and I'll talk about each of these individually. Alright, so this is my one and only Rolex, the first Rolex I purchased. I bought this to celebrate, well, it basically took me 20 years to buy a Rolex, so I'm kind of celebrating being out of college and working in the industry for 20 years, so kind of a reward to myself. I still feel a little selfish buying it, but I'm really happy with the purchase. I'm happy with the watch, especially since I bought it from the authorized dealer. I've been wearing it a fair amount. You can see I do have a good amount of wear on here. So I really enjoy wearing this watch. And yeah, I always wanted a Rolex. I'm trying to stay with one watch per brand, but I think this with Rolex, I think I'm going to have more than one. I'm on a wait list for the 40mm Explorer, and I'd really like to get a GMT, a Pepsi GMT. So hopefully I can add that to my collection one day as well. But you know, watches, they add up, right? I mean, it's a big expense, and I feel not being totally fiscally responsible having a ton of watches. But anyway, that's kind of what happens with this hobby. So that'll be a keeper. I really like the Black Bay 58. I like it almost just as much as the Submariner. Actually, they're probably about equal for me. Perfect size for my wrist. I really enjoy wearing this watch as well. Get a good amount of wear on this too. I was actually wearing this watch today, so this is probably the only one that's running. Let me get this on wrist. So yeah, I bought this at full retail. I bought this, and then that kind of helped me get the Submariner from the authorized dealer. I also had some friends at the dealer too. So anyway, here we go. I hope they come out with the T-fit class for this, and then it'd be just about perfect. I don't mind the aluminum bezel insert. Really, the only thing I would like to see improved or upgraded would be the T-fit clasp. But since I have the Uncle Seiko half link in here, I was able to get it adjusted to my wrist just right, so it wears very well on wrist for me. I have this year, I've sold off a couple Grand Seikos, and I hope to continue selling off watches this year. So that's my big goal for 2024, is selling off watches and trying to get the collection down. We do have the Speedmaster here. This is the, I always get it mixed up. I think it's the 1863. There's 1861 and 1863. But this has the decorated movement. It does not have the plastic parts. It's the sapphire sandwich. The previous generation, I was looking at getting the new one, the current one, but then the price has gone up. I don't know, like 50%. It's gone up quite a bit. The current sapphire sandwich is $8,000. I paid half of that for this 2 years ago. I still think I've released any videos on this, but I'll get around to that eventually. So yeah, always wanted a moon watch. Finally have one in the collection, and I was able to purchase this used. I've not worn it really though. I'd like to sell off some other watches before I start wearing this. I'm kind of funny like that. So anyway, I think what I will do is maybe this year I'll buy the new bracelet for this one. It looks a little bit big on my wrist with the male end links, and the new bracelet basically comes right across here with the female end links, and I like that it tapers. This one does not taper, and then it does have a little bit of micro adjust, but that's just one position. I think the links are a little smaller too, so I should be able to get a better fit on wrist. But yeah, this one, or I think I'll always have a Speedmaster in the collection. I'm not sure if this one or if upgrades to the new one. I really don't see the point of that if I can just get the bracelet. And hopefully the bracelet isn't too expensive. Hopefully it's under $1,000. Let's see. Oh yeah. So the Snowflake. For many, many years I've wanted this watch, and a couple years ago one came up used at a good price. It does have some wear on it, but that's what tends to happen with titanium, even though this is grade 5 titanium, but it has a really high polish to it. It's just a very cool watch. Spring drive amazes me. And every time I take this off the wrist roll and put it in hands, it's so light. It surprises me every time I pick it up. Now, granted, I don't wear it that much. If I wore it more often, maybe it wouldn't surprise me, but check out that second hand. It's going to go really fast, and then the movement will catch up and slow it down right there. So there we go. The mainspring, or I think it's the quartz in here, has to be powered before it slows down that second hand. So it's a magnetic brake. But look at that sweep. That is just so cool. And then the textured dial, very nice. The case, I'm not the biggest fan of this case styling, but when I think of Grand Seiko, I think of this watch. So this is the one that I wanted for the longest time. I had a SBGN003, which I sold, and then an SBGM221. Really tempted to keep that watch, but again, trying to get down to one watch per brand. So there we go. I feel it's a little bit big on my wrist, but that's okay. I like this watch a lot. So, all right, let's see if we can go a little bit quicker with the pace here on the video. I'm trying to spend too much time on each watch. Okay, Sinn U50. I think this will be my keeper for my Sinn watches, but I do have another one here, and I do have some more also that I need to get to. So. Cool thing about this watch, 11mm thick, and it has 500-meter water resistant. And this has a tegimented case and the tegimented bezel. This is the SDR version. This has the older movement, so I think it's 38 hours power reserve. It's up to 55 now. It'd be nice to have that new movement, but I did purchase this watch used, so that's fine. The clasp is a bit of a bummer, just a stamped clasp, but it does the trick. So throw this one on wrist real quick. I've been trying to get it off the bracelet to put it on a rubber strap, but it's not been very cooperative with me. It's a real tight fit with that end link. The bezel is solid and chunky. And it's a little bit off with the alignment, so I do need to take this off and adjust this one of these days. Just haven't gotten around to that yet. Really like this watch. It's tactical looking. It's cool with the red and the white. But I do really prefer vintage styled watches. I really, really like the styling of this watch. One of my favorite watches for sure. All right, let's go to my most recent acquisition, the Seiko SPB317. Purchased this watch to use. I kept going back and forth on if I was going to buy it. You know, I was in sell-off mode. I told myself no new watches. This one came up for sale in the Discord group. I just had to jump on it, and I'm very happy I did. Right now I have it on the aftermarket sailcloth strap. The factory silicone strap's a little bit too long for me, and I don't really like silicone. I don't like silicone, I'll just say that. I prefer FKM rubber, and this is the Artem loopless sailcloth strap. I do have some rubber straps coming in for this, which I'll be trying out. So I really like the look of this on the Tropic rubber strap, as that's what the original 62 Moss was on, and this looks just like a 62 Moss from 1965. It looks very, if I had an original and put it side by side with this, it would look very, very, very similar. And this one's going to be much more reliable. I've had some problem with vintage watches, so. All right, let's go to Damasko. Again, trying to get down to one watch per brand, and I think this will be my one Damasko. I do have 5 of them, I think. So, unidirectional bezel. The bezel action in this thing is amazing. Ceramic ball bearings in here. It's the DLC coated steel insert. This is the ice hardened steel, which is cool. It's really scratch resistant, but then it has to be extra thick because they need to put an iron core in here to prevent magnetism, whatever. The iron, the ice hardened case is magnetic, so it kind of messes with the movement. That's why it has the soft iron core, and it's thick, and it's only 100 meter water resistant. Totally fine for me, but with the thickness you'd think it'd be more. And this is the DA46, which I can never remember, so thankfully they have it on the case back here. AR coating is amazing on these. Very cool watch, and you do have the German and English day date here, which is offset from that center line, which I've not seen anyone else do, so very cool. And I don't know what I did with the factory strap for this. I think it came on a leather strap. Need to find that, but right now I have it on the Montreux rubber. I think it matches very well. All right, another German watch. This is one, again, I wanted for a long time. One of those watches I read about many, many years ago, and I've always wanted it. Was able to purchase it used a number of years ago. Hand winding Stowa Marine original. Yes, I do like German watches. I have a bunch of them. And look at that movement. It's gorgeous. It's Unitas 6498 right there. This has the old logo. But very cool. Maybe if I get a more high-end hand winding watch, I'll sell this, but this is perfect for me. Well, it's a little bit big, but it's a nice watch for me. It's in a good. I bought it for a good price. Probably should put it on a different strap. But there we go. Just a quick look at this. So again, a little bit big for my wrist, but again, I really like the watch, so I'm just going to put up with it, for lack of better words. I do have a 6.5 inch wrist, so some watches are just too big for me. But if I really like them, I'll keep wearing them. Heat blued hands. And cool watch. Made in Germany. Stowa. So there we go. Let's check out the Sinn 105 UTC. I've really been trying to, I've always been a fan of GMT watches. Again, I want the Pepsi GMT, but I do get a little bit distracted by that GMT hand when I'm trying to just check the time quickly. I sometimes confuse that GMT hand. This one, not so much, because it's orange versus the white, but it's a cool watch. Sinn watches do not have in-house movements, so if that bothers you, then probably not going to want to buy Sinn. Damasko is starting to do their in-house movements. The one I have is not in-house. But yeah, true 48 click bezel. And I think it's a cool watch all around. It's got a little bit different of a finish to it. Still does have that clasp, that crafty clasp with the dive extension, but someone else told me that it could also be a pilot suit extension. So anyway, Sinn 105 UTC, and I think this will be my only GMT. I have some others to sell off, and if I ever do get a Rolex Pepsi GMT, then I would likely sell this one as well, since I have the U50, one watch per brand. But you'll see here in a moment, I do have 3 Tudors. When I get my Explorer, then I will most likely sell this. They're the same size, but this watch, it looks bigger than Explorer to me. It looks bigger than the Black Bay 58, even though it is the same case. So the size of the dial. Yeah, I don't know if it's a printing or what it is, but something about the proportions of this watch just look a little bit off to me. But I do enjoy this watch. I haven't worn it as much as I should, but it is a cool watch. I remember with I wouldn't say it's the original one, but when Tudor came back, they had a Ranger that was 41, and with the bracelet, the end link wasn't a fitted end link. That really put me off. I don't like metal bracelets that don't have a fitted end link. So this watch wears very comfortably on wrist, and it looks very good as well. Has those vintage vibes again. So I think this will be my, I don't know, I have such a hard time breaking down the collection to 12 watches. Maybe it'll end up being 48. And again, there's a bunch of watches that I'm really not including. For example, the watches I get from brands in exchange for video, I really don't think I'm going to sell them. Well, I don't know, but I have that one. I have this Boulder here. Very nice lightweight watch, but again, getting off track. So let's get down to the last watch here. Bought this used a couple years ago. It's very cool. Reminds me a lot of obviously the Rolex Day Date, but this is the Tudor Oyster Prince Date Day plexiglass crystal. I believe this watch is from the 90s. Did not come on bracelet. I would like to buy a bracelet for this. Strap Mill Canada leather strap. I would like to get the bracelet for this, or an aftermarket bracelet. But the cool thing about this watch is this was from back in the time when Rolex would use their cases and other, we'll say, leftover parts. So this case says Rolex on it. It's kind of worn out. Let's see. Original oyster case right here, Rolex. Hopefully you can see that. There we go. And then I would think on the other side of this case it would say Rolex as well. And it does have the Rolex crown, which is very cool. So not something you see every day. Sometimes I'll take this with me when I visit the authorized dealer just to say, hey, check out my Tudor with the Rolex crown. And they're a little bit, some of them are a little bit confused about it at first. So I'll just talk about how the Tudor used to use the Rolex parts without an in-house movement. So they have the ETA movement. I need to wear this watch more. If I get a bracelet for it, I think I'd wear it a lot more often. I just need to see if I can find some aftermarket bracelets for it. 20mm lug width. I don't think it looked good on a rubber, but just to verify because sometimes when I look for bracelets, they come up with a 19mm, but it's not. It's 20. So 36mm case, and I think this would be a good analog for a Rolex Datejust in 36. I really like the 36 for this style of watch, for the Datejust, for a day date. Maybe one day I can get a Rolex Day Date, but you know, those are like, I think 40 grand. I don't even know, 30, 38, somewhere around there. A lot of money. So let me know what you think of my 12 watch collection here. I used air quotes. I'd like to get it down to 12 watches. I just have such a hard time figuring out what watches I want to sell off. So I'm going to be a lot more selective this year in buying watches. I've actually, in the Discord group, I said I'm not going to buy any more watches for 2024. That's Probably not really realistic, but I'm going to try to be very selective and reduce the collection. So anyway, that will conclude this video. As always, thank you for your time and thank you for watching. So as I'm putting all the watches back in the case, I realize I missed a watch, which is my Tuna. I think I always have at least one quartz watch in the collection, and this is a great quartz watch to have. A lot of history with the Tuna. They've been basically been using the same movement for over 30 years. The 7C46 quartz movement. It's an amazing movement. High accuracy, high reliability, good battery life, and it's a serviceable movement. Again, very high quality. Forgot the model number for this one, but it's the latest version, and we have the blue dial with the blue. I don't know if it's ceramic or if it's a DLC steel. I'm pretty sure it's ceramic. And the great thing about the Tuna is that the lume is amazing, so this can fit in the role as the lume monster as well. So let's check that out. And that's without being hit with the UV torch. And there we go. Best loomed watch in my collection. Okay, well that will conclude this video. Again, as always, thank you for your time. Really appreciate you watching the videos, and I'll catch you on the next one.